think that's going to look really good.
Carpentry has been a hobby for John Holloway since high school. He recently lost a job as a landman in the oil and gas industry. He had no idea that his hobby would turn into a full-time job until he saw all the fallen cypress trees in Wimberley.
I just thought that a piece of that cypress would make a nice mantle piece for my sister.
His sister told him to sell it on Facebook instead. Once people in Wimberley saw what he was doing, his rescue project took root.
They buy my pieces and then they donate them to the flood victims that have lost their furniture and so forth.
But John's project is actually a team effort. He has to get the okay from homeowners along the river to actually move these trees and use them.
For neighbors like Carol Algren, the destroyed trees serve as a lingering reminder of their loss.
They're like our family members. You know, they've been here probably 300 to 400 years.
So when John asked to use the trees, the answer was easy.
There's so much positive going on in Wimberley in the recovery, and so this is another part of it.
John believes his new project is more than recovery. It's a sign of Wimberley's rebirth.
I call it life after death.
Heather Jackson, KXAN News. Chrissy Madison is a mom of 2 boys. When they were younger, the idea of ever leaving them in an overheated car was her biggest fear.
I think I scared myself away from doing it because I was so panicked it was going to happen to me.
So Chrissy would use old school tricks to remind herself her kids were seat belted in the back seat.
After snapping your kid in and then leaving your purse or diaper bag behind with them used to be the old way of doing things. But now there's new technology.
Like this bracelet called a buddy tag. It goes on your kid's wrist, then you activate the app.
And it'll alert you whenever your child goes out of range or you go out of range of your child.
You can also set the distance for when the alarm is triggered. Now, the buddy tag isn't the only high-tech reminder for parents. There are now smart car seats like the Evenflow. It can sense when a baby is left behind and sounds the alarm. If you don't want to buy the whole car seat, you can purchase a clip to replace the car seat buckle that will also trigger an alarm.
Come on.
But Chrissy says, even with all that technology,
It's nice to get a break from the heat, right?
Yep.
parents just need to slow down.
Don't be in such a rush to get to places, because if you're in a rush and you don't take that moment to remember, you're never going to forgive yourself.
Heather Jackson, KXAN News.
It's 37 years of having type 1 diabetes.
Doctors diagnosed Pierre Blanchard with type 1 diabetes when he was just 6 years old. And the years since then, Pierre says he's experienced everything from oversweating to seizures. The disease has even put him in a coma.
Not having sugar in my body, it just seizes me.
Battling his disease became easier when Pierre adopted 2 pit bull mixes less than a year ago. After 1 week of bringing Lana and King home, they knew something was wrong with their owner.
When that smell of ketones comes in the air of a high blood sugar, right away, it just runs straight to me.
They became his service dogs, and Pierre suffered fewer seizures and reactions. But days before Christmas, Pierre let his dogs out to play in his backyard. When he returned 10 minutes later, Pierre says the gate was wide open and his dogs were gone.
Went around the whole neighborhood for about 45 minutes, nothing.
Since the dogs went missing, Pierre has already suffered 4 diabetic seizures. If someone has his dogs, Pierre simply asks for them to bring them back, as his life may depend on it.
If they can just bring them back, I would have no questions asked to them.
Pierre says that both of his dogs do have microchips in them. I spoke with Animal Control and they say that they have not been able to locate his dogs, but having those chips will help. And Kyle, Heather Jackson, KXAN News.